Up next, landed housing. A good time to buy? Welcome back. In land-scarce Singapore, the majority live in public housing. Land that's allocated for bungalows, semi-detached or terrace housing is limited, and so landed property comes with a hefty price tag. Millicent Enriquez takes a look at the market dynamics of landed housing. This 2.5-story semi-detached home, located at Greenview Crescent, is ideal for large families. Nestled in a bungalow zone, this new freehold landed property sits on a 3,000 square foot land area. Price tag, more than 7 million Singapore dollars.
5 bedrooms upstairs, all with their own suites. There's a lift and also comes with a flat pool, like what you see.
This brand new development ticks all the boxes. Modern design, ample usable space and layout. These are good attributes to have, particularly in a market where closing the deal is getting even tougher.
In the past, probably we could sell a house after maybe 20 viewings, for example. Now it could go as high as like 40 or 50. And that is provided the house is priced reasonably.
MTD Landed sells landed properties in Singapore's central, east and northeast regions. And it's a buyer's market right now.
A lot of sellers, once they see there's a slowdown in the market, they're a bit insecure. They're not too sure whether the property value will be better in future. So this might be a better time for them to sell.
So far, transactions in the landed segment have dropped significantly after the government's cooling measures last year.
Prior to the cooling measures in 2018, from January to June last year, there were something like 1,400 transactions in the landed property segment. But this year, we only saw 700. So there's a 50% drop in transaction numbers. Whereas for the non-landed segment, the decline has only been about 35% or so.
One other reason for the fall in landed home sales is that buyers and sellers are taking a longer time to agree on the price.
Buyers are willing to pay slightly more than what was transacted, but the sellers are asking sometimes 30, 40, 50% higher than the last transactions in the neighborhood.
For sellers, they are looking the much longer term. They probably feel that their property should fetch higher because in the long term, given the scarcity of landed homes, price should appreciate, and it's true. But for the buyers, I mean, they are looking at the market as it is and looking at, the uncertain external environment, the weaker economic growth. They probably will put a lower price.
Still, the appetite for highly expensive homes is not abating.
They tend to fall within like 2 to 3 million for the more lower range, and then of course above 10 million for the upper range. Interestingly, we see quite a fair bit of activity on the higher range side. Yeah, like above 20 million, and those are the GCBs. Quite a fair number are actually purchased under trust. So that is actually pure cash. There's still a lot of buyers flush with capital looking to buy. Most of them are still on the sidelines, waiting for the perfect opportunity to go into the market.
So far, prices of landed homes has been resilient. In the third quarter, the landed property price index rose 1% after a decline in the second quarter, according to URA data.
Terrace houses has gone up. It's actually the main segment that's pushing up the price. It's gone up by about 4.6% in the first 9 months compared to last year. Semi-Ds has gone up by about 1.6%, but detached houses have actually gone down by more than 7% in the first 9 months of this year.
All in, landed home prices rose a cumulative 2% in the first 9 months of 2019, says Colliers International. But while prices are still 7.3% below the peak in 2013, the limited supply of landed homes in the pipeline will only drive up prices.
In the past, we probably see in terms of thousands. Now we are seeing in terms of hundreds. Most of them are in the Ang Mo Kio Avenue area. I think they are the Luxus Hill development and of course the Belgava villas. And then even if we are talking about freehold homes in the pipeline, there is even fewer.
The number of high net worths in Singapore coming onto that list is increasing every year. And on top of that, the number of newly minted Singaporean citizens are also increasing. So given the limited supply on the landed property side and an increasing demand from those who made it, materialistically speaking, then I think the demand will always be stronger on that side and in this market, and prices will tend to rise.
Only 5.1% of residents in Singapore live in landed properties, while nearly 79% live in public housing, according to 2018 data. While owning a landed home can be all about privacy and prestige, experts say some buy them for practical reasons.
For terraces, generally they are small and medium-sized enterprises. They need to house their families who are helping them in their businesses under one roof. So that's where they are buying. And when you do business, you need to convey a message that you are financially stable. And sometimes you need a place to entertain your guests, your clients, etc.
That said, landed homes will continue to be an aspiration for many Singaporeans.
This is not a segment that is meant for the average person. This is a segment that is priced for Singaporeans who have made it in life.
So we always say that the Singapore dream is to own a condominium. But as more and more stay in the condominium, what's next for them? So landed homes definitely will be the next step.
For MTD Landed, it sees better prospects in the coming months.
We are expected to hit maybe also about 1,500 or slightly less this year. Once people get used to the idea of this new additional buyer's stamp duty, transaction volume may pick up. To cross 2,000 will be a bit challenging in today's times unless you see certain changes or improvement in the current market climate.
Experts say districts 10 and 15 will remain hotspots for landed home transactions. That's our program. Thank you for watching. MoneyMind is on a season break from next week onwards until the end of the year. We'd like to wish all our viewers in advance a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll return January 4th, 2020. I'll see you then.